Chris Brazzell Jr. has an undeniable hunger to him this season, and his production on the field now has him on the Biletnikoff Watch List, what's led to this breakout season for the redshirt junior. It's Wednesday, and we're profiling Tennessee's wide receiver one, Chris Brazzell Jr. I'm Paige Dauer, and this is The Edge.
Well, that just really motivates me to achieve my dreams, honestly.
Getting to this moment where he's leading the nation in receiving touchdowns and he's second in the country in receiving yards, it's just a reflection of the 3 boxes he checks off each day and each week.
Yeah, it's a daily thing, man. I love prayers. You keep us in your prayers.
A lighthearted comment that really reflects the amount of hours that wide receivers coach Kelsey Pope and the unit have really poured into each other each day and each week. And it really started in the offseason leading into this season, and it became a very vital part to Chris Brazzell Jr.'s growth because, if you recall, he missed the first 8 practices of fall camp with a lower leg injury. And the timing could not have been worse, right? Tennessee was in the midst of a quarterback battle, and he wasn't getting any of those early reps. But maybe it became a blessing in disguise.
He's operated with urgency. He's been in the building, and he's given himself a shot.
And the blessings of the setback, whether it be the injury or the fact that Brazzell felt he left a lot out on the field last season, reveals itself here. It laid the foundation for box number 1, forming consistent habits. And you go back to the end of the 2024 campaign, and Coach Pope and Brazzell spent countless hours together in the film room reviewing his redshirt sophomore season. What went right, what didn't go right, such as the drop balls, the inaccuracy from his targets, right? You see it there, catching 29 of just the 58 targets, and maybe that's partly why he flew under the radar to start the season, why he wasn't on so many preseason watch lists. But in week 5, not so much.
Having those meetings allow those guys to see it visually. I think they retain that a lot better, and they go train it after. And I think in the situation, it just makes them more comfortable and confident.
And you can see how those sessions have already paid off. It's been a springboard for him all season long.
Buy into the details and lock in really. So the little time I had, I made sure that little time I had, I went hard with that time and made sure I was ready by game day.
Paying attention to those details, whether it be in the offseason leading into 2025 or now here through the first handful of games, Brazzell realizes just how uncomfortable he was in the system, whether it be because of the speed of the game and the tempo of the offense that Josh Heupel operates with, or just simply his grasp of the system. He realizes now, by paying attention to those details, how comfortable he is in 2025. And the stats and the results really speak for themselves. Through just the first handful of games in 2025, he's already surpassed his season total from 2024 in catches, yards, and touchdowns. But to maintain that pace, he has to continue to check these boxes.
Every day. Wideouts, like their receivers, if you let them get too far drawn away from the roll, you got to steer them back. That's just the nature of this position.
That time commitment, and it seems almost like gentle parenting, is partly why Coach Pope was like, I need your prayers, please, because it really is an everyday thing, and so much of this position is all about confidence, and that gets us to our second box. I feel like that's a true statement for everybody in life, but through the lens of football, you really see that transpire with wide receivers and corners because so much of what they do, they're out on an island. So you truly have all 100,000 eyeballs, on you when you're playing inside Neyland Stadium, or you've got people at home and you've got social media. There's a heightened pressure to perform in those positions. So sometimes wide receivers fall into this trap where they feel like they're only as good as their last catch. And right now for Chris Brazzell, that can be a motivator until it's a weight. But because he has these good practice habits, we're now seeing that even after a tough loss against Georgia, where the outcome is not what you want despite your own individual efforts being there, that letdown no longer bleeds into the next week.
It's difficult, but that's what comes with football. You win some, you lose some, so I'll get over it tomorrow.
And if you watch college football across the country, what you'll notice in the best wide receivers is they all have that one thing in common, whether it be Jeremiah Smith with Ohio State or Skylar Bell at UConn. They all play with this certain level of confidence, and that's why Chris Brazzell Jr. is able to go and make these crazy acrobatic type plays. One, the most recent, we could see it against Mississippi State, where he has this like falling 180 type catch, despite two defenders being tattooed on him. He still comes down or comes up with the catch, is a finalist. I am sure that's a highlight that will play on repeat.
With that kid, a lot of times when he just prepares, and on Saturday, when he's able to just play and not have to think, I think you get the best version of him.
It also highlights why he's been so productive this season and leading him to being a top wide receiver in the country. Through 5 games, he's catching better than 75% of his targets, a much better mark than last season. And you can see it transpire even in their first SEC battle, and it came against Georgia. Like, despite, the teams exchanging scores or when things are falling apart for Tennessee, Chris Brazzell Jr. is able to maintain the right mindset.
Really, really have a swing of emotion. We just stayed in the game the whole time, so that's just the thing about being a competitor. If things ain't gonna go right, you gotta keep your head in it.
And that's a level of maturity and toughness that Brazzell did not have mastered last season, and that together leads to our third box: connection and urgency.
Our mindset's got to be here. We got to be more positive. We got to choose to stay confident. And then we have a good player, a successful player, and explosive. Like, it's got to be day one mentality, get back to work, get lined up fast.
And no doubt that has led to one of the strongest connections in the country between Joey Aguilar and his wide receiver one and Chris Brazzell Jr. And that's something that's only going to get better the more they're together.
The confidence he brings in the offense just lets me be comfortable knowing that we're on the same page.
And I think the most underrated part of the connection downfield between Joey Aguilar and, let's say, Chris Brazzell, but really all of his wide receivers, is how he throws the ball downfield. The arc that he puts on it, the air that gets under the ball, it gives his wide receivers space and time, or at least the angle, to go and make a play. And from the Coach Pope's perspective, he's like, that's all we want.
So he does a really good job of giving those guys a shot to go play it. And I think that makes a whole heck of a lot of a difference at wideout, that you have confidence that I'm going to have a shot to go make this play.
And if we string this all together, it becomes a winning recipe.
If you got receivers playing confident, you got your quarterback playing confident, I think you got a shot to be really good on offense in any league, anywhere.
And it seems like he's just getting started. Make sure to join us on Friday for Live Ball at 8:30 in the morning with myself and VFL Todd Kelly Jr. We'll see you then.